don't let fear hold you back. If you don't start, you failed.
You can't have doubt. You need to keep going and you just can't stop.
You know, it's those finer details that will set you apart from someone else.
Thank you so much for being here, Jamie. It's you're doing amazing things on Main North Road and beyond. Whenever I see you, you've got so much inspiration. What inspired you to start all of the businesses that you have, and I guess landing you in Prospect? How did you get here?
Well, Prospect was originally a place where we lived. Actually, we lived in Collinswood, so next door neighbours. And if we sort of even go back, like, you know, we wanted to live close to schools, city, so much good stuff around Prospect and close to the city was where we wanted to raise a family. When I say we, it was my wife now, but at the time a girlfriend. We bought our first house in Nailsworth, or Collinswood. And then we bought a second house in Collinswood, and both houses we renovated and did up. And then what happened was, in that time, I was working for car dealers, and I was sales managing car dealers and training staff and teaching guys how to sell cars. And then eventually, as time goes on, where the inspiration came from was, I'm doing this for other big companies, why don't I just do it for myself? So I talked to a friend of mine. He found the yard in Prospect on Main North Road, and we shared a yard together, and we started our first car yard together. He had his own business, his own cars, and I had my own stuff as well. But it worked out really, really well because we could help each other. We were single, no staff, just helped each other. So he was my staff member, I was his staff member. And we just worked really well together. So we grew our first business in Prospect because Main North Road was the hub of car dealers. That's where everyone used to come and buy cars, and we were very successful there, both of us, along with most other car yards on Main North Road. And I guess from that inspiration from there, it was somewhere in that time frame, I'm going to try and blend a few stories together here, right? Just so it kind of makes sense.
Go for it.
So in that time frame, we started looking for a residential investment property. We found a house in Prospect, or Nailsworth, I think it was, and they didn't accept my offer. I was annoyed. So as we drove off, drove around onto Main North Road, and we drove past 103 Main North Road was for sale. And again, my wife, big inspiration, she says, why don't we look at that? I said, what do we know about commercial? She goes, nothing. Let's just get in and have a crack. So I contacted the agent, and I knew a guy who owned a lot of properties, of car yard properties on Main North Road. I contacted him and I said, what do I need to know? What can you teach me? What don't I know? He told me a few things, so I felt a bit more confident. So I went in and we ended up buying that property. So that was 103 Main North Road. That was then, had a current tenant in it. So we left that tenant in there until they moved on. And then we had Embroid Me, who grew their startup business as a franchise. He outgrew that business before he could relocate to another business, bigger premises down the track. So that was that. So that plants the seed for 103 at the moment. From there, I was still working in my car yard. I then had one of my sales guys, who I hadn't seen for a little while. He gave me a call. He was now general managing another car dealer, and he said, can you come and train my staff? And I said, no, I'm busy in my own car yard. Why do I want to do that? And he said, well, I remember how you trained me, did a great job training the staff. You know what you're talking about. So can you come and train my staff? And I went, look, let me think about it. Thought about it for a little while, and I thought, well, maybe I could work something in. I said, look, I'll do a deal. I think it was a 2-day session. We'll do a 2-day session, trial it out, see how that goes. Long story short, that turned into the next business. I realised that it was something I really loved doing. I'd done the car yard for quite a few years. So rather than hold a lot of money tied up in stock and do the car yard hours, I thought I'm going to move into sales training. So that's how I started the sales training business, and predominantly sticking with car sales in the industry, but can do retail, and I've done a couple of different retail things as well, but predominantly car yards. So I stuck with that. Now we come back to wife growing business and that business sort of growing. Now in the sales training business, I came across quite a few car dealers that were not real happy with the pricing that they were paying to list their cars for sale online. They were paying lots of very, very high fees. From that moment, I thought, well, why doesn't someone else compete with these big conglomerates and try and help? Because car yards, you've got your different levels. You've got your smaller guys and you've got your big guys. Big guys have always got a little bit more money behind them to be able to put into those sorts of overheads, where the little guys don't. So what happens is the little guy won't go on there. So now the little guy is investing his money somewhere else on a site that's maybe got not that good a quality, not that good a following, and that sort of thing. So I got to thinking, why doesn't someone create a site that's not discriminative, that can have no objections? We were talking earlier about no objections in business. Why can't someone
create something welcoming, like a space for them to walk into, not being, too salesy from, it's cars. So you can be, it's an interesting business because you can be scared off from the beginning. So creating something, and that's what inspired you to do that.
Well, it was about helping the little guys list in the same place as the big guys, and without it being a monetary thing. So I created iNeada, and that's when I needed a business partner. I needed a business partner. So I come across a guy that was in the sales industry that was all about web developing, and he's been a great asset to me and the company. And so we started together iNeada, which is iNeada.com.au, as a platform for all car dealers of all levels, from your $1,000 cars to your $500,000 cars, and they're all in one place. So that's sort of the business, and we now we come back to Prospect. iNeada and my sales training, we needed to be located somewhere very central. Prospect is an area that is so central. You've got car dealers either side in a cross. They're in all directions. And I needed to be close to all of that, and have a business premises that was close, that was representing of a company, not someone hidden in a bedroom or a little study at their house. We needed a presence, and to have Main North Road presence, which is why when my wife was expanding her business, she went and worked at a co-working space for a few days, and come up with the idea, why don't we turn 103 into a co-working space? So we explored that and looked into that, and we thought, well, that would be perfect for our own businesses. We're on Main North Road frontage. We've got low overheads, which is what startups are all about, keeping your overheads low so you can put your money into other areas.
So you can flourish.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's how we created 103 CBD, which is co-working space, and the place we're in now, Oaktree Studios, started as a startup with us at 103 CBD as well.
Challenges. Here you are flourishing and creating businesses, and I guess not really searching for it, but people coming up to you, you know, they see that you have something to offer, there's value. And from training, you know, car salesmen, and what was the challenges of all of that? Because you didn't really sit there and come up with the idea and start from there, which is a lot of entrepreneurs, they start with, I guess, an idea. Well, you were kind of approached. What kind of challenges did you have to face in that kind of learning journey, from, I guess, knowing how much to charge to working with clients and doing all of that in prospect? What was that like for you?
Yeah, the challenges, I guess, go back to when I was managing my own department for a big franchise, and when they offered to move me from the floor, from a salesperson into a sales manager, I was the guy that was selling the most cars in my department. So you take me off the floor, and now I'm working with my team, you're now losing 30 to 40 deals a month of car sales from one guy. So now all of a sudden I've got to go, okay, now I've got these 5 or 6 other guys. How do I put my knowledge into their mind and give them the skills that motivated me and gave me the skills? And there's a lot of people think that car sales is about smooth talking, gold chain wearing, dodgy type of stuff to lie to people. And it is totally the opposite of that. Yes, I'm sure there's people and characters out there, but you can find those characters in a takeaway shop trying to sell you, you know, upsell you on a salad and chips and all that sort of stuff, you know. But to sell effectively is about honesty. It's about coming from a passion of helping that person that walks into your business premises, whether it's Oaktree Studios, whether it's Prospect Council, whether it's the takeaway shop, whether it's Myers. If you don't get greeted by a person that has a genuine care for helping the reason why you're there, people will pick up on that. And that's when they don't buy and they walk out or they go somewhere else. I go to regular clothes shops because I get greeted the same way. I know where I buy my clothes, I feel comfortable, and I keep going back there. I go to regular restaurants for the same purpose. I have regular customers that still reach out to me, even though I don't sell cars, still reach out to me, Jamie, can you help me find me a car? Because they trust me, they know that I would put them in the right direction to help find them. So my challenge was, how do I help those guys become better at what they've been achieving? And then when I got approached by my guy, it was like, okay, I just used the same formula to, you know, I still look at other people online and look at their sales skills and look what they're coaching and teaching to see if there's anything that I'm missing. There's fine-tuning adjustments that you might use, but most of it comes back to just being genuine. You know, you've got to be a genuine person and find out what motivates people. What's the motivator? My motivator is to help someone become a little bit better than what they were after meeting me. And if I can inspire salespeople to learn some new skills, and it's really words and I guess learning to be authentic, because sometimes people forget that. They just lose their way. Mm-hmm. And so my biggest challenge was growing that business. And then even with iNeada, growing that business, not really knowing what to charge, but you've got to go, okay, first of all, the biggest thing is overheads. You've got to keep your overheads low. If you can keep your overheads low, and you know, my business partner in iNeada said this statement, he who can hold their breath the longest wins. So if I can hold my breath the longest and have my low overheads and concentrate on trying to build my businesses and put my money into the things that need to happen with the business, then I'm holding my breath. You know, the money will come later. You got to not focused on how much can I make out of this, because then you come from the wrong place. You come from almost, you know, what the old terminology that most people think car salesmen are is rip-offs. They come from the rip-off tech department, and it's not about ripping someone off. People don't mind paying for value, and you've got to give them what they want, provide the value, and they'll pay for that. You know, whereas when I started 103 CBD, we did market research on what everyone else was charging for office space and desk space. We have 6 offices and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 desks. And we are pretty much full. We've got 2 desks available at the moment, but we've been pretty much chock-a-block. I've still got my original office tenant from day one when we opened. They haven't moved anywhere. We've had a couple of people that have grown their businesses and move on, but people love staying there because of, one, yes, it's price, but they get value. They just like, if the only reason they're going to move is they don't get value. Mm-hmm. People can be loyal to car dealers, but if they feel like they don't get value one time, they'll move and go to another dealer, even if it's the same brand.
Yeah. You mentioned something, I just saw your eyes light up. Honesty. Have you always been an honest person?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very interesting part of you that makes you who you are, and I guess the successful business owner that you are in Prospect, because, yeah, it takes courage to be honest, and if you can be an honest businessman in whatever you're doing, I think you're right. It does attract an authentic sale, and yeah, I find that really interesting about you, and it just captivated me. So,
thank you.
What makes Prospect unique for entrepreneurs? I mean, from an economic development standpoint, you being in the landscape and the game and having a few businesses here, what makes this area attractive to upcoming entrepreneurs, do you think?
I think there's so much opportunity for locations to start a business. You need somewhere that, look at the office that we're in here, and I know the guys here at Oaktree have done a lot in getting it to where it is when they first took it on board. But you get that opportunity to create something that represents you as a business, and being so close to, I guess, the CBD and the community, that I've seen a lot of businesses around Prospect all support each other. We were talking earlier about coffee shops. There's one just a couple of doors down. So you set up a business, you're in Prospect, you've got coffee shops, you've got snack bars, you've got lunch places. There's development going on around that's bringing more and more people to the area who are going to use businesses that are in that local area. They're going to use those coffee shops. They're going to use Oaktree Studios. They're going to use 103 CBD workspaces. They're going to use people in their community.
How do you see your businesses here changing in the next 3 to 5 years? With you're mentioning the growing of businesses, the people, it's attracting people coming into the area, whether it's from the north or from the city. How do you see your businesses growing in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, I think the workspace, I'm capped on space other than going up. I don't know if 3 to 5 years I'll be ready to go up, but somewhere not far from that. I know with the current plans on Main North Road there, I can go up and have residential up higher above it. So that would be something that I would be considering down the track. As far as our own business growths go within our premises, I see iNeada.com.au as being having as many cars online as the big guys. I don't. There's no objection that's going to hold anyone back for not wanting to list their cars on there, because it can't be priced, because it's just so cost effective. And the people that'll start searching the site will see such great value from the site, because a lot of the other sites cost the dealer so much more money when you click to inquire where the car is. So people, as far as public goes, they all want cheaper cars. They want better prices on things, but yet what they're doing is they're pushing the price up. They're taking away negotiation power, because they've just increased the price of the car by clicking on it to find out where it is. So if they can start moving to iNeada.com.au, the cars have a little bit more negotiation power from the dealers because they haven't paid the extra high fees to list on the big guys. So therefore, they could potentially get a cheaper car. So I see iNeada becoming the next big thing for car listings for people to search on. I see that there's always a demand for sales training. There's not enough of me to go around. I don't see. When I was a salesman, I used to go to other training sessions within the franchises. They would hire training companies to come in. What would happen is I would go to a training session where the trainer who's facilitating the session has never sold a car. He's reading out of a playbook, and you can tell that all it is words and scripts. There's no authenticity through there. So I don't want to hire someone else to do my job because I don't think it'll be done my way. Not that I'm a egomaniac in any way. I probably am, really.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs would say the same thing.
But I want to create something that can be probably AI related, where I can get my training out there further without me having to interstate hop every week, so that I can get to more people with my authenticity, my honesty, and the program. So I see in the next, I'm trying to work on something now, so hopefully before 3 years, I'm building that training side up.
Wow, that's so exciting, Jamie. Ex-race car driver, AI entrepreneur starter. You do so many things, and you can just hear that coming through. And you're right. It starts from honesty, and if you can be honest about an idea, and it works, I mean, that's really cool.
I think sports like racing cars was something that really probably taught me something that I didn't realise until I wasn't racing cars, how much it taught me.
Yeah.
And what racing cars, when you're at a level where you can win races, you strive to win. You know, when you're not winning races, you're striving just to have a good time. But when you can win at something, then that's what you strive to do. You strive to win more. And what happens is in racing that if you're not winning, you actually take stock of the whole situation around you and figure out, okay, why am I not winning? What can I do to win? I need to change, even on the racetrack, sometimes you've got to change your race line. And I use that in my terminology in business, is that sometimes I've got to change my race line. If I'm not winning, I've got to find a way to catch the guy in front so I can pass him and beat him. You know, there's people out there that are beating me, and I need to change my race line to be able to try and do that. But, you know, success leaves clues too. So sometimes it's good to follow the paved way that someone else has already paved before you so that you can get to that. And then you go, okay, now how can I find a new race line to go past them? I've caught them. I need to figure out how to go past them.
Success leaving lots of clues, even for businesses. I mean, if you're not paying attention to your surroundings, you could miss it, or you could miss the things that you are doing well. And I guess the polarity of that as a business owner, having positive reassurance and encouragement and having the right people around you, employees that saw, oh, you've got this talent, we need you, all the way through to your partner, the support that she's given, the business nudges, it's brilliant. I mean, would you say to someone, if someone had an idea and prospect, or I guess for younger people that kind of want to start something, maybe it's people listening at the moment and they're in car sales and they're kind of, you know, feeling the heat of it, and what would you say to them? What would you kind of, you know, Jamie, now with everything that you do know and where you're at, what would you say to someone who's ready to go, young, and they just have no idea?
Yeah. I would say don't be afraid to reach out to people that inspire you, that can give you information and help and guidance. You know, sometimes they'll do that for free. I have sales guys that ring me and we have a chat and it doesn't cost them anything. I won't go and spend a day in a dealership for that sort of deal, but you've got to be able to, I guess, even to the point, you've got to practice as well. We have professional athletes that we know they know how to handball or football, like we know they know how to kick a ball, but they still go to training during the week and practice fundamentals. Salespeople are probably, what I see, are not well practiced individuals. They don't practice with each other enough. They don't do enough in-house training. There's so and then they expect to just walk out there and just wing it with a customer without any form of training on their authenticity. Sometimes you've got to practice being yourself too. You've got to practice helping someone, motivate someone for their reasons as to why they've walked in your door. You've got to find out why they're there, why they're here today. They didn't come here to waste your time. So I would say that you need to reach out to people. You need to, don't be embarrassed about working at a co-working space. There is, like my businesses work out of a co-working space. I don't need a big 100-story office building to represent my business. I need somewhere that's nice, that I've got a meeting room. If you need a meeting with someone, you need to have those amenities there. So you've got to look at, those low overheads, but reach out, learn, read, follow, use your downtime to go to school of YouTube and just learn from the people that have already done it before you and see what you can learn from them.
I love the school of YouTube. There's free knowledge and there is a 7-minute video on anything you can learn how to do it just by clicking on YouTube and watching. That was brilliant. And yeah, I think you're right. If you don't knock and ask, you're not really going to receive anything. And if it is lack of training, well, like we do, we go to the gym, we train. We can't just leave somewhere and expect that we're going to be experts straight away. But you've also got to keep, I guess, trying new things. And like you said, you're open yourself. If there's anything new out there, you're always looking to be the best version of yourself as a business owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome, Jamie. Thank you so much for coming on episode 1, season 1 of the Prospect Pod. You have been such an extraordinary guest, and yeah, I'm just really proud, and there's so much that I've learned from you today. So I just want to say thank you to that.
Thank you.
And I guess, is there anything you really want to say? I mean, is there something on your mind or how this conversation's gone? Do you want to leave us with any last words before we wrap up?
Look, as far as business goes, I know that there's still many, I'm only a little guy, but there is, if anyone hasn't started and gone out by themselves, don't let fear hold you back. You've got to look at things to minimise your risk of failure. But if you don't start, then you've failed because you haven't even taken a start. So the business will never take off. That's one thing I can guarantee you. If you don't start, it will never take off. But if you take a start, you'll find that you might be able to change your race line. You might be able to pivot. You might be able to make some changes along the way to go, okay, I've just started. I've got the wheels in motion, but now I'm sitting here spinning the wheels. I'm not getting traction. What do I need to do to get some traction? I might need to turn my wheels left a little bit and go over here. The great thing about Prospect is it offers such a low risk office space options with co-working. You don't lock into leases. It's memberships, which is within 30 days you can let someone know that I've expanded, I'm moving out. Whereas, you try take on a 1 year, 3 year, 5 year lease somewhere, you've committed to a big overhead for such a small business when you're trying to grow something. So utilise the options in Prospect with the co-working options. That's for someone new starting. I think that's a great option for them because then it just doesn't lock them in. so much more flexibility, and they can grow their business that way. But don't let fear hold you back. Have a go.
Don't let fear hold you back. Well, thank you so much, Jamie. Good luck with everything, and I'm sure we'll have you on again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Daniel, how's it going?
Good, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. Episode 1, Season 1 of the Prospect Pod, The Fitness Factory. I mean, guys, like, you've just opened up. How long has it been?
9 weeks now.
Oh, my God. That's gone quick.
Yeah, very quick. Yeah.
Well, Daniel, like, I mean, thank you so much for coming on. The Fitness Factory, I've signed up. I'm there every day, most days. And it's just such a beautiful business model, because you have obviously the gym side, you've got a creche, you've got amazing state-of-the-art equipment, all the way through to the sauna side of things. What inspired you to start Fitness Factory?
Probably 10, 11 years ago, we had a idea in our head forming that's like, let's open up a gym. Sort of the gyms that were opening up at that time were more like a very basic, no frills franchise model, 24 hours, like your Anytime Fitness, Snap Fitness, Zaps, Jets. And we wanted to offer a bit more, hence the creche, the classes, the saunas, the gym floor and the cardio. So we put it all together and found our first site and just went from there. Yep.
Wow. And you have a business partner called Jeb. And how did you guys meet and kind of do this together?
Well, when we first met, he was him and his wife Cass. They were members of our second gym at Lightsview, and we became good friends with them. And they had an opportunity to buy into the business, and we had a vision to open up our third gym at Prospect, and that was a long time in the making. And yeah, we approached them, we spoke about it, and yeah, we made a plan together. And yeah, 5 years later, we opened up Prospect Fitness Factory Health Clubs.
That's incredible, to go from someone at your gym as a member to establish a long form friendship, like a good, genuine friendship, to be able to step into a business together. That takes quite a bit of, obviously, guts and courage and things like that. Have you always been this sort of person with fitness? Because we were talking briefly before, I mean, your childhood, your dad. Can you just go into a little bit about that again? Because being passionate to start a business is one thing, but also to have consistency to run a gym and actually gym yourself is another. So have you always been that kind of guy from a young age?
I think so. I wasn't risk averse. So if I have an idea or a passion, put that together. I think I never thought I would fail or make it as make it a failure, I guess you could say. I wanted a gym. I had a good vision in my head. I believed in it. I was passionate about it. And growing up, I love it. I'm really passionate about it. I love health and fitness, and I want everyone to come on board, join our gym, and be a better version of themselves. That's what we always wanted to try to create. I know I didn't have doubt. That was the main thing. I never doubted myself. We just thought, yeah, this is what's needed. This is what we love. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. And just went from there.
What was your dad like? Because you were watching him obviously gym, and you were exposed to that kind of thing. Was your dad a bit like that?
No. My dad, he was an immigrant from Poland, so had a massive language barrier. My mum was 19 when she had me. My dad was 25, 26, so they were quite young when they moved to Australia. They have a different outlook on life. They were happy to have a job and work and start a new life, mainly for us. And my dad's passion was bodybuilding. He loves to train. He still does it. He's 67. He still trains at our gym. Still very fit and healthy and loves it. But for my dad, business is not his thing. No. But yeah, I think he's very proud of what we've achieved, and he loves coming to our gyms every day. He's there. So yeah, it's good to see.
Wow, to have your dad come to your gym, that must be a pretty cool sight.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And we train together still. It's good. It's very nice. Yeah.
Amazing. And Fitness Factory, I mean, why Prospect? How did you get the gig here? Because you had a few businesses. Can you take me on a bit of your business startup journey and how you ended up in Prospect?
Yeah, I'm blessed in a way. My other business is I own a plasterboard company, so we do fit outs and plasterboard. We have various contracts around Adelaide with various builders. That's given me, I guess, opportunities to create good relationships with certain developers, people that are in the building game. And one of them was the owner of that particular site, at Prospect. I've known him for about 15 years. And I let him know years and years ago. I said, if you ever think of developing this site, please come to me, talk to me, because I would really love to put a gym here. This is a fantastic site. I've had my eye on this place for many years. And it eventuated, came together. We sat down, had a chat, and sort of, 6-7 years later, here we are. Yep.
Wow. And is the gym itself, was that it's because I'm just thinking about it from an entrepreneurial perspective, to run that and make your gym different, the point of difference that it does have. Have you learnt that along the way of opening new ones to get to this one? Like, what was that process like, being able to, this is the gym we have, here's how it works to get that point of difference?
Every time you open a business, we're sort of copying and pasting, if you will. But every time we open a gym, we learn from our previous gym, so previous mistakes, what we can do better. So every gym that we've done, you can see from the first one to this one how we've evolved and we've grown and tried to be better and do things better and offer more. So you learn. It's all a learning experience. That's all it is. You just got to do it. You're going to fail. You're going to get things wrong, but you do also get a lot of things right. So, yeah.
And you mentioned a few of the challenges there. Going into my next question, what were some of your early challenges as a business owner? I mean, Fitness Factory, where it is now, is awesome. What were some of your challenges?
Probably our biggest challenge was because we're you can call us a mum and dad business. So we don't have the brand or the brand awareness that some of these big franchise companies have. We're always sort of in the shadows, if you will, in the background. So it's hard. We believe we offer a lot and we have a very good service and we believe in our product, but it's convincing people to come through the door and to check us out. That's the hardest thing for us. That's been probably our biggest challenge, I would say. And with more gyms opening like ours with the 3 sites, it gives us a bit more brand awareness now. So Prospect, especially Prospect here in this really good location, it's helped a lot to get us better exposure.
Yeah. And I mean, as a business owner and to run a business, to live and be at the business, you have to wear many hats. You're a marketer, you're a business owner, there's so many hats that you wear. And I guess being in Prospect, you've just mentioned the other businesses in the building. What's that relationship been like now? Because you've been open for 9 weeks, 8 weeks. How's that kind of going there?
Yeah, good. Yeah. The boys downstairs in the pub are awesome lads. Love them. They're such good dudes. It's really good. Yeah. Everyone around here gets together. It's really good. We all support each other. I think we all understand each other because we're in the same boat. So we get each other a bit more than, other people might get us. But it's all good. Yeah, it's brilliant. St. Louis just opened. They only opened, I think, last week. So that's sort of a bit new and fresh. And the op shop downstairs as well. I think they're doing well. Everyone gets along and it's really good. Yeah, it's a good community. It's good.
Yeah, it's the kids go to school here. The mums shop at Chanella's. They sign up. It's everyone here wears at least 10 to 15 hats.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, we've got shout out to Dino's barbershop. He just opened up. He's an absolute legend. So many of us get our haircuts there now with him. So we promote his business within our gym. It's good. Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about the gym. Like how's all that going? And I guess for someone listening who is kind of in that space of, they're in the area or they're near the area, they're thinking about starting somewhere or signing up to achieve their goals. Like, what's that process kind of like? And what is to be expected at Fitness Factory?
Well, the process is easy. We're so welcoming. We offer 7-day free trials. It's very easy. Just come in, suss the gym out. You guys can use whatever you want. Just trial it. We don't put any pressure on anyone. We just want you guys to come into the gym, have a look, try everything. we just offer a good service, and we pride ourselves on a community. We do 8-week challenges. We get involved with people within the gym. We have awesome Christmas shows at the end of every year. I think last year we just had our Christmas show sort of combined with our 8-week challenge show. We had, I think, 130, 140 people at the Stag come together. It was really good fun. But we're a business that we want to give back to the community, to the people. Yeah, so we want you guys, everyone that comes into our gym, to feel welcome. There's other gyms that maybe you don't feel so welcome, or it's a bit, I won't go into that in too much detail, but we want people to, we want Fitness Factory here at Prospect to, I guess, be your second home. Yeah, so you feel welcome. Maybe if you're bored at home, just come to the gym. You can sit down. We've got an awesome cafe. We've got smoothies, coffees. Sit down, watch some footy, catch up with a friend. We want everyone to be friends with each other, so you can, walk past the person, say hello, train together, talk together. It's a community. It's like your second home. And we want everyone to feel welcome there. And just a good place to better yourself. That's all we want. And I think once people come into our gym and try it, they realise that it's a really good place to be.
Oh, for sure. And again, it's tying back to that relationship point that you said, being able to go in and feel welcome. And it is an atmosphere. And for some people, I mean, training and being consistent is the biggest challenge. Yeah. And sometimes it's just a simple welcoming that keeps someone coming back. Yeah. And that's the positive encouragement they need to come and train. Have you experienced that with people before and seeing that? Like, what's that like, seeing that happen, people starting from, I guess, that zero to coming to you guys? And
oh, it's awesome. We've got so many good stories. We had, just one example. We had a girl that was never been to the gym before, very shy, awkward, very intimidated because there's guys in the gym training. They don't know anything about how to train. We convinced her to. She slowly made progress in that. 6 months later, loves the gym. It's her second home, walks in like it's her house, loves it. And her transformation physically and just mentally towards gym and training and being healthy is just been a complete flip. It's just so good to watch. It's so rewarding for us because you actually see it, you watch it happen. And they love it. Yeah, there's so many people like that in our gym that have, they said they won't go back. They're there for life. They absolutely love it. Yeah, it's good.
Wow. That's so cool, Daniel. I just want to, to see that as a business owner, the transformation from how someone starts to that consistency.
Yeah. Oh, it's so rewarding. Yeah. Love it. Yeah. So good to see.
It changes their whole lifestyle and being, it becomes a lifestyle.
It is. Yes. Correct. Yeah. And we want to offer that. We want to promote that lifestyle where they can come in, have a fresh juice or a smoothie, a coffee, their child. Let's say, mothers go in there together, they drop their kids off at the creche, they can train, do a class together, sit down at the cafe, have a coffee, talk, have their time to themselves, and then pick their kid up and go home. And they've had 2 hours to themselves, they've bettered themselves, they're happier, they've got time for themselves. That's so important, especially where everyone's so busy now. It's really good. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to offer. And we just want people to come in and see that. We put so much effort into like the creche. Our creche managers and our staff are so good. We do face painting, drawing, colouring. It's not just drop your kid off and they, don't do anything in there. We want the kid to tell their parents that they want to go to the gym because they have so much fun in the creche. Yeah, again, we just want to make it easier for people to come to the gym. So we sort of, I guess, incorporate everything we can to make it just a good place to hang, not just the gym.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes, working out almost becomes secondary.
Yeah. And you're a happy wife and you're making the parents happy. That's a lot of their job as well, just being able to make sure that their kids are in the right place and being able to work out and that happen as well.
Oh,
those good conversations in the car home is just brilliant.
It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that leads me to, I guess, my next question for you, Daniel. What do you think makes Prospect, I guess, as a destination unique for business owners? I mean, you guys are new here in business. You've got an extensive business background, as the landscape's happening and, from what's your perspective of what makes, I guess, this place unique and a little bit different from starting business elsewhere?
One, I think, is the location. It's just, if you zoom out, I guess, and you look where it is in terms of the larger scope in Adelaide, it's just in a really good spot. It's very accessible to a lot of people. And I think it's just the place to be. As more good businesses come into one area, it draws more people in, and it's sort of like a domino effect. You know, you've got Bottega, Anchovy Bandit, Sonny's, you know, Rosemont Hall, you know, the new Prospect Pub, you got, you know, St. Louis Ice Creams, all these beautiful, nice restaurant, Mezzy Muzzy. I think I'm saying that right, Mezzy Muzzy. I think it's like good people draw good people to each other, and I think that's the same with business. Good businesses will see that this area's thriving, it's growing, more people come, you get greater footfall. I think you've got a higher guarantee of success for your business within these areas. It's a good vibe. You know, in the morning, this place is packed. It's so good. Cotto's, it's always full of people. It's a good vibe. People walking their dogs, going for walks, catching up for coffee. It's a good spot. It's really good. And like I said, it's easily accessible from a lot of areas in the surrounding areas. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic spot.
Yeah, you mentioned success there, which I think is, you know, it's to start a business, you want it to be successful.
Well, you do, yeah. Yeah.
And when it's challenging and it's not, it's, you know, what do you do, I guess, to kind of combat that? And did you learn that, I guess, as you've gone with your experience with gyms, and like, does it take you a while, I guess, in terms of that? Or like, how long do you think it takes for someone who, let's say, wants to open up like a gym like yourself, or, you know, and they're very passionate about training, and how do they work that out? Because how did you work out that for it to be successful, it is all of those things together?
Well, for me, you got to work hard. You got to forget the money side of things, and you just got to believe in your vision. And for people to believe in your business, you need to believe in it yourself. Yeah. So yeah, I never worried about the financial aspect of it. I just wanted to create a good gym. I believe if you create a good business, the money side of things will come. That's a byproduct of what you do in your business. You know, prime examples, you have 2 coffee shops, and one coffee shop does so much better than the other coffee shop because your service or your coffee is much better. I think if you take pride in your business and offer a good service and believe in it, I think you will be successful. Yeah, you will do okay. Yeah, I think the money will be a byproduct. It's almost like a lag effect of what you're doing within your business. Yeah.
No, that's
and
great.
Don't give up. You can't give up. Yeah, people sometimes, I think, give up too early. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, seeing it through and not giving up. I'm sure you had thoughts when it was super challenging, and you know the negative thoughts kind of come in. And what did you do to bounce yourself back when times were kind of heavy during business, and to get, you know, now you're in Prospect, now you're here. What did you do?
I think I'll keep going back to that. Self-belief. You need to believe. You believe in your vision. If you don't, it's going to fall apart. You can't have doubt. You need to keep going, and you just can't stop. You got to keep grinding, and it slowly builds. You know, what's that saying? Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time, and you have to you need to see it through. We see that so often with businesses. That like you're there, you're almost there, you know, and it stops. You give up. You can't give up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's challenging. Yeah, it's especially we went through COVID. That was a very challenging time. Gyms seem to be a focal point of the spread of the disease, and we got shut down and had lots of limitations on how we could run our business. That hurt. That was a big challenge. But yeah, that business. There's always going to be challenges. You just got to work your way through it. There's always an answer to a problem. You just got to sit down and have a good team around you as well, good support. You get through it. Yeah. So you got to remember, all the challenges that you're facing, everyone else faces as well. It's not just you. Yeah, everyone's dealing with the same thing.
For sure. Yeah. And to have you here in Prospect is really cool, because with the businesses that are coming in, and you guys part of that new wave, just the values that you're bringing I think, you know, from the customer all the way through to the counter, we all need that sometimes. We all need that positive reassurance for when things are challenging. And sometimes escaping to the gym is just that little bit of time you need.
Exactly. And that's mine. I love going to the gym. It's an escape. It's all, for me, it's like meditation. We do a good class. I'm only thinking about the reps and my breathing. I've got to get through this. And you come out and you feel better. It's awesome. And you see a friendly face, you know, you'll see Steve making you a coffee, you know, or Anastasia, you know, you say hello. We want that place to make you smile. You leave feeling happier, you know, and you can start your day if you go there in the morning, or finish your day when you go there in that night, you know, on a happy note. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, V leaves me in smiles when I
Yeah, she's next level. She scares me sometimes, but yeah, she's good at it.
She's lovely.
Yeah.
So I guess a bit of a future question. I mean, now you're here, absolute welcome. Where do you see Fitness Factory, I guess, in the next 3 to 5 years? With everything at your doorstep now, a really cool location, growing. What's on the tables for you guys? How do you kind of see an ideal next 3 to 5 years with Fitness Factory?
Constantly improving. We always want to improve. We always ask ourselves, what can we do better? How can we do better? The fitness industry is just an ever-changing industry. We're going to stay in front of it. Keep providing a good service, I guess. In that sense, with, you know, our classes and the gym floor, everything, like especially with the functional fit classes, a lot changes in that area. 3 to 5 years. Look, being honest, my absolute honesty, would be probably a couple more sites. Again, we talked about brand awareness. I feel if we had maybe 5 sites, that was always our sort of dream in the background there. In key locations, again, I'll talk about location. In a couple good locations, I feel we could entrench ourselves firmly in the fitness industry. I reckon that's, in a nutshell, I reckon that will be around,
For sure, yeah. You mentioned changing and changes and keeping up with the fitness changes.
Yep.
Because with, I guess, the fast-paced, moving world that we're in and technology and the digital realm and fitness, if you can do well in fitness using all of that, it works pretty good in my opinion. SA with the likes of Kayla Itness and all of these people that have just really worked it out to be able to get their vision and mission and purpose across. For you guys, I mean, how do you deal with the challenges and, I mean, kind of like the changes of those challenges, because it becomes a challenge when you do need to keep an eye on that. And how do you, because you mentioned your training classes and they kind of alter, like what do you guys do in that area? How do you do that?
Well, we sit down, there's a lot of talk. We break it apart, pull it apart, and we always try to look ahead, you know, like what's coming up next. You know, Adelaide's very small, so a lot of the stuff that happens sort of trickles down from internationally, like the States, then it's probably Sydney, then it sort of trickles down. Adelaide, we see sort of the fluctuations, so we can sort of look ahead a little bit and go, okay, this is probably what's coming up next. We've seen that in the changes with F45, you know, to Body Fit, to Revel, to the Yard now, just talking about boutique class businesses. You know, it's gone from CrossFit, now High Rocks is very, very popular. That's gaining huge momentum. Now running is booming. I've never seen this many people talking about running. I think Instagram and TikTok is full of people running. That's another challenge. We've seen a bit of a drop-off, people attending classes at the gym because they're running. Yeah, a lot of people are running. But there's trends in the industry and it comes and goes. And looking back, I think people want community. You know, people want to be in a good place that makes them feel good. People want to feel connected. So stuff, you know, we see the fitness programs online where you can do one-on-one or you do it in your lounge room. That's sort of okay, but it's lacking something, yeah? So we believe strongly in just creating a good place, a good service, a good atmosphere, and I think that's going to hold us in long stead.
Yeah, well, I guess for someone starting a business and I guess being in prospect, kind of like yourself, you were really motivated and inspired by, you know, your journey with your parents and kind of seeing all of that and that being something you wanted to focus on. What would you kind of say to them starting a business? Because being in the fitness industry, I mean, like an entrepreneur, it has its challenges, its waves, its ups and downs. What would you kind of say to someone who's looking at starting a business in prospect or just anywhere really?
I think number one, follow your passion. I think if you're passionate about something, the work and the challenges that you're going to face won't be as difficult because you're passionate about it. It's so different when you love something. It doesn't become work. It becomes your life. You know, you love it. You breathe it. You live it. It's you have a very different outlook on it. If you start a business, let's say bricklaying, and you hate bricklaying, you're not going to last when challenges come your way. But if you love something, you know, it's like being in a relationship. Yeah, if you love someone, you're going to face challenges. But if you love them, you're going to get through it. You're going to keep going. And I guess it's the same thing with your business. We're really passionate. We love what we do. So it's challenges, but it's a lot of fun along the way and really rewarding, especially in the fitness industry, because you see a lot of people make positive changes. It's really good. Yeah.
What was something that changed your outlook? Because I guess life is all about perspective, right? And if you have a really poor perspective of gymming and fitness and health, and you know that's going to really impact your motivation to be able to go and be consistent.
Yeah.
What was something that happened to you that changed your outlook? Because I get this real sense of, you know, positivity, drive. I mean, you've got it's perspective. So, but to change that, I mean, you need to have a good lens. And what was something that changed you?
Well, I look at it, me personally, we have one shot at life. That's it. So you can wake up being negative, or you can wake up being positive and doing something good in your life. I feel if you start thinking positively and doing positive things, you're going to have a positive outcome in life. And I think once people can shift that mindset towards that, I think better things come their way. Life just gets better.
Give me an example in your life, day to day.
In my life.
You doing that. What does that look like?
Positive outlook. Well, just a simple example. You might feel tired in the morning. You don't want to go to the gym. Yeah, just an easy example. But you go anyway. You do the class. You grind through it. It's hard, but you finish. You feel amazing. You feel like you've conquered that battle within yourself, because you could have easily slept in, could have put the quilts over your head and slept in another hour, but you made that choice and you did it. You felt positive, I guess. You feel, well, not felt positive. You feel positive after the class, let's say. You feel better and you have a better outlook on yourself, because you know you've won that battle in yourself. And I guess if you keep just trying to win these little battles, it builds into something bigger and better overall. Yep.
Wow, that's awesome, Daniel. It's cool to hear a bit of an insight with that, because whether someone listening right now wants to sign up and start that journey, or they're just interested in meeting you and learning a bit about what you're about, collaboration and prospect, you're already working with, you know, the Prospect Run Club. Is there anyone else you're kind of working with, or is there any goals on site for Prospect? And for anyone listening right now who's interested in maybe joining what you guys are about or getting behind charity stuff?
Yeah, we're always looking out to join, to help the community. We always want to give back to the community. That's always our motto. Like, what can we do? We've got a good business. We've got a lot of people within our gym, really good people. That's one of the benefits that we have as well. We've got so many different members that have joined our gym from different areas of life. So it's awesome. We meet really interesting people, a lot of people that come on board and have the means to help us out in different ways. So like we do try to do fundraisers and charities to, you know, we try to help people that are maybe less fortunate, or something's happened in their life that's, you know, they've gone through some hardship. Yeah, so if any business wants to collaborate or join in, if they got any ideas or any suggestions, we're always open, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And you mentioned members.
Yep.
So what's to expect? How do they sign up? How do they get behind Fitness Factory, and how does one become a Fitness Factory goer?
Well, you can sign up online. If if that's easier. Mainly, most people just come in and say hello to us. V or Steve or Georgie or one of the others will show you around the club, show you what we've got to offer. And then, if you're convinced there, sign up. We've got different tiered memberships on what you want to do and what you want to achieve in terms of your fitness journey. Or we do a 7-day free week trial. So that gives you access to all the club. You can try the classes, the crèche, the gym, the cardio. And then, and you go from there. It's very simple, easy. And you can start your journey. We've got good trainers, good PTs, a lot of support. So, you're set up well from there.
And you also have, I guess, the sauna side.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So we built like a little recovery room, I guess. You've got 3 infrared saunas. So some people prefer the infrared. So that's infrared's like waves that sort of penetrate internally into your body to heat you up and sweat out all your toxins. And we've got a wet sauna. So that's a traditional Scandinavian sauna with the hot rocks. So you sit in there and it gets to about 95 degrees. And then, you can go in, book in. You've got an app, so you can book in your time slots during the staffed hours, 6 days a week. It's unlimited use, so you can book in every day if that's your thing. Very easy, very simple. It's really good for your health as well. So,
And for recovery, does it kind of go hand in hand with gymming? How does that kind of work? What's the...
It's mainly recovery. You can do ice bath or sauna. It's just putting your body under duress or stress. Saunas are good. It just releases all your lactic acid, sweats everything out. You just recover well. If you do that maybe 2-3 times a week, you'll notice a change. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Wow. I got to upgrade my package by the sounds of it. It's amazing. And the seeing the mums coming in and the crèche and all the way to behind the counter from V to people like yourself starting these amazing businesses in Prospect. Is there anything you would like to say if someone was listening and, they just want a little bit more encouragement to come in or to sign up and start that journey? Or let's just say someone was listening and they found, kind of your struggles a bit more as something that maybe that's what they need to look at and kind of alter their perspective a bit. Is there something that you would like to say on behalf of yourself, Jeb, the Fitness Factory team, to get people to come in and potentially start this journey with you guys in Prospect?
Just don't be afraid. Just please come in, because it's a lot of people's the fear to just walk in and come in, say hello. We're so friendly, so helpful, and we truly want to make a change in your life for the better. So just please come in. Don't be scared. We'll help you out wherever we can, and we promise you won't look back. It'll be really good.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Daniel. Before we wrap up, is there anything that you'd like to say on behalf of you guys? Is there anything else, or you're kind of happy with that, Anastasia? Yeah. Yep.
Are you sure, manager?
Are you sure? You did a good job, yeah. All right, well, thank you so much, Daniel. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm so excited for you, the Fitness Factory team, and people like yourself and Jeb who are just coming in and bringing these amazing businesses to the community. It really does impact everyone, and starting from health, wellness, to be able to just perform the 9 to 5, for a lot of people, it's that consistency, and you just mentioned fear, being able to kind of step over that and come in and give life your best shot. So on behalf of us, thank you so much for coming on, and looking forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you. Josh, how's it going?
Really good.
Really good.
Really
We're
good.
in your domain.
This is it. This is the palace, and really happy to be here. Really thankful for the opportunity. I'm glad we could create such an environment or a space to do this.
So, Josh, what inspired you to start Oaktree Studios, and why Prospect?
Yeah, listen, to get involved in business, to start a business, I think it was always in my DNA to be a business owner, to run a business. My dad, from a young age, was a leader and a director of his business, and naturally that was a huge influence in in what I am today. Sadly, he passed away when I was 21, but I had the privilege of just learning and knowing what he was doing. You know, he was within his industry of events and music and production. He was known for his knowledge and, you know, his experiences and his influence. And so growing up, really was aware of what the industry was about and how it worked. And so naturally, you know, my dad is one of the key influences of why I'm in business today. And as I journeyed through kind of as a young adult, you know, being witness to other organizations and businesses and having different roles in leadership or management, you know, understanding business is just naturally led me back to a position of owning my own business. And, you know, I think I joke around with a few mates that there's not a week or a month that goes by I don't think of another business idea, and some of the guys hate it and my wife hates it too, but some of them have led to some really good success, and one of which is Oaktree Studios. So, and that's where we are today. And why Prospect? Well, you know, it made sense. It made so much sense to be here, one of the main arterial routes out of the CBD, to have access to the outer suburbs, but also in a community that is evolving and thriving. There's so much investment. You have to walk out the door to see that there's some new buildings afoot, and there's leases available and retail outlets that have been taken up. So we're really excited to be a part of that transition of growth. And it's, you know, it's local for us to travel to. You've got the cafes, you've got the restaurants, and you know, other amenities that you need as a business starting out.
No, it's a beautiful place, and you guys are here on site, and I'm pretty sure you're one of the only ones here right now with access to incredible equipment and to have the office out the front. Yeah, it's your one-stop shop, really.
For sure. There's a huge investment initially, obviously, over the years, continued investment in media and technology. It's forever changing and growing, and you need to keep up. And so, yeah, it's not an industry that everybody jumps at because they know the costs involved and the sacrifice that comes with that too. But we have the equipment, and we have the opportunities available to those businesses around us to be able to produce something of a premium quality for them, but understand them, and that's the key to learning a bit more about them before we start going in and capturing their story.
Wow, it takes a vision to be able to bring something like this together, and who you work with. I mean, being in the creative industries, it can be quite a journey to be able to have the right team, the right environment to bring all this awesome equipment into, and then bringing the creative vision through. You mentioned visionary before, and it's a word that you're quite attached to in the sense of I really think it's like part of your being as a business owner and as an entrepreneur. Why is having a vision important? How does that ensure success, I guess, for a business in Prospect?
Yeah, it's more so something that's been labeled upon me as opposed to how I would describe myself. But naturally, you know, I use that now as a personality type or trait. But you're not a visionary unless you've got a plan to back that up. You know, you've got to have a strategy as well to formulate something. And so, creating this space, I knew that, you know, we wanted a studio, we wanted a space for the team to work collectively from, and to invite people in to shoot here as well. And so, naturally, you know, you have to look at some risks, and you have to look at a blueprint of how this could work, how this could be sustainable. And so, we can kind of, gifted visionary, you can kind of see things play out, you know, before it happens. And so, of course, there's calculations and there's plans that are part of it. But certainly, we knew what we wanted to achieve. And within a couple of years, we did it.
And I think the value that a business such as yours brings to an area and a, you know, Prospect, the talent, I guess, that is here that are, you know, let's say they're very busy working on the businesses. I mean, we've got cafes, bars, restaurants, we've got everything. And having people like yourself on the road that is so easily accessible. And, I think it's amazing because the creativity part of your business and what value you guys can bring from the location is just extraordinary. How are you enjoying Prospect? What is it like now being here on the street and seeing everything happen?
Yeah, we love it. We love it. I think it's great to have something at reach. It's really practical. And like you said, you've got so much hospitality there as well, a convenience. You've got, Dino's Barbershop as well. They've got the gym. There's so many things here that add to the benefit of being here as a location. And so, really chuffed to be a part of that. Really fortunate to be here. And it makes so much sense now to be here. It's a bonus to be able to connect with these other businesses, with these like-minded people. It was never the main objective to land here and then service all of these businesses and provide them with content and provide them with something and help share their story. Naturally, I think that may be upon us because they can see now what we do and they can, and there's businesses here that can testify to what we do. But it was never the main intention because people have a good thing going. They've got their social channels, they've got their content creators. But we're here and we're available and we're good at what we do and we offer such a premium product. And we're more than, a team that are behind the lens as a photographer, videographer, cinematographer, editor. We are visionaries. We are creatives that help with strategy, direct people, curate something, and share the story, share the experience more so than capture one moment.
So, in essence of that, tell me about your business's challenges. I mean, it's great being here and up and running and stuff, but what's the 9 to 5 to Josh? What's the 9 to 5 to Oaktree? And how have you overcome the challenges to get to where you are now being here in Prospect?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real for a second. There's heaps of challenges that upon any business owner now in 2025, 2026, finance, cash flow, the risk of it all. But one of the biggest challenges I think personally I've found is starting a family and building a family whilst building a business. And some people might start before they have kids, and some people might start later in years when they're a bit older, and it's easier. They might have had a job that was fairly mundane, and then decided, hey, I'm going to try and do this. I've always wanted to do this. So to really be in the trenches, so to speak, and shape a business, you have to invest time and you have to water it and you have to maintain it, and you're responsible for the business relationships, you're responsible for the team. And to be responsible as a dad and have those responsibilities as a partner as well, you can't give 100% to both. And so it's really unfair that the whole work-life balance, I don't think it does exist. But what are we creating here? What is my main objective as a business owner? And so it's that flexibility and that freedom. And I want to leak that into the team and also show that with the people that we build relationships up with as well, to say, hey, we'll be flexible. We're all real people here. So yeah, the main challenges would be bringing up the family at the same time, simultaneously or parallel alongside what we're doing. And but if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? So
yeah, it's actually harder said than done. A lot of the time it's easier said than done. But yeah, sometimes even just thinking about it and, being caught up in that 9 to 5 and having to adapt, and especially in the creative industry, I mean, yeah, you are the help that businesses need, but also at the end of the day, you're running your own ship here as well. So being able to wear all of those hats is pretty cool.
It often comes back to content nowadays. Everyone's got their phone and they're scrolling, and you've got social channels, you've got your website, and it's always a directive for people to point to, check out my social channel, check out my website. And so, naturally you can have a conversation, and a lot of business, coaches and mentors will help people. And then it comes back to marketing. It comes back to that strategy. So we have a part to play in all of it, in helping showcase people's businesses and share their stories. But we can play different parts of it. It doesn't have to be set in images or videos. We can have a part to play in directing them to other areas or other means. And there's people on the street, there's people here in Prospect that wear those hats as well, that we can refer them onto. And the council, it has been great, and it's got some really good initiatives. And so being able to direct them back to the council areas, to the support officers, and like yourself, to be able to help in more ways than one. It's a good community here. Yeah.
What do you think's missing? As a creative, and seeing, I guess, Prospect and its flourishing, and with you mentioned before all of the amazing businesses that it's attracting, what's something that you see that can come in and kind of improve and, I guess, help that storytelling piece?
I don't know. I think it exists already in terms of having those networking meets, having those groups where people can come together and collaborate with them, and the meet and greets for business owners. Everybody's so busy, running their business, from the crack of dawn, and it's really difficult at times to allow space for that. So, but we've got that hub here. We've got that central location where people can do maybe more of that, more opportunities for people to connect, and more initiatives, but it does exist. Yeah.
No, brilliant. It's I'm always interested in hearing how people, see it or where it could go. But the answer that you gave, it already existing, is so true.
Yeah.
Because the communities are there, and like we were saying before, the mums are working out there, they're shopping there, the kids go to school there, and everybody just kind of naturally collaborates.
Yeah.
Which is quite unique.
No, it's really good. I mean, and even this, to have a series, to have a concept like this, is really, it's interesting for business owners. Hopefully it's engaging for others who are just interested in the community, in the area, in the suburb, new residents, to see, the people behind the lens ourselves, but also people that they'll be mingling with, that they'll be connecting with. So, shopping alongside or serving their food, it's important for people to know that. So it will give the residents, a peace of mind and something to chew on.
Well, tying on that, giving the residents peace of mind and something to think about, tell me a bit about Oaktree. Like, what are all the things that you do? What does everything look like for you guys on the back here? And for the listeners who are listening who, are keen to get in touch, what do you guys kind of offer, and how do you kind of see that evolving in Prospect over the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, sure. So, we offer premium content creation basically in a nutshell, and but how that can look day to day is all very different. We service a variety of different industries. We are part of different industries, and what's important is that we understand, the people. We understand the DNA behind each of those industries, organizations, and businesses. Once you then unpack that, once you then discover the DNA in their heart, you can then share the story, tell them, share the message, and capture some amazing content that way. So that's what we offer. We do that in a variety of means, photography, videography, and of course we've got a setup here for vodcasts and podcasts. So to be able to produce something for themselves, for them to share a story in a different means. It could be a learning series. It could be just a chit chat in general about anything, fitness, health, hospitality, you name it. So there's a couple of variety of options to think about and what we serve. But day to day, it can be all very different. We can be here, we can be present, we can be in post-production mode, editing in the suite there, or we can be out on location, capturing a moment, sharing another story. And so, we look after a couple of big brands in South Australia, and we're very fortunate to do that and have that relationship. But we also share love stories, and as cheesy as that sounds, we've been doing that for a long time. We've been doing that for, almost 10 years. And so Oaktree Studios is a bricks and mortar studio, and we service weddings. And so we're really fortunate to share in someone's day. One of the biggest days in their life. And we've been doing that for a long time. We've won awards for that. And we've got a small group or, part of our team that do that on a regular basis. And so we've kind of, unlocked the secret, unlocked the key to what the majority of people are looking for out there. And we feel like we do that very well. Yeah.
You mentioned weddings and, being off-site as well as being here, editing and in post. What's something you can't forget? Like in this industry, being a creative, watching life happen and the stresses of being on a set and, things going wrong and being able to adapt on the fly and then also still perform and do your job. What's kind of a story you have in your back pocket that's something you can't really shake off?
Yeah, a story that's appropriate to share. I don't know, but like anybody in business, they'll always have some hero moments, but also some telling moments and some pain points. And along the years, we're working with technology, we're working with means of media, and so you're relying on the tools for the job. But I guess that's what puts us in the position we're in now, and to see that growth and accelerated growth is that we're very quick to respond, quick to problem solve. If you take a wedding, for instance, we wear many hats, in terms of guiding the day, capturing the moment, setting up the scene, if things are not going wrong, and experienced. And so no two weddings are the same, but certainly we have validated experience to be able to problem solve and help in those moments to make it easier, make it more comfortable. And that's what it's about. It's about the families enjoying themselves and, making all of those moments as precious as they can be. I will touch on this. We've got a product called Legacy. And Legacy is something that's really close to my heart because of, losing people close to me. And so that was about getting in front of people in their home, going through trivial battles with health, terminal illness, things like that, and just kind of documenting their life, their stories to share maybe for their loved ones, for their children, grandchildren. And so you might find retirees, you might find people in their 30s or 40s, or even, kids as well, unfortunately. But something that we offer and we don't kind of share or showcase it enough is our Legacy product, because it's such a sensitive topic to talk about, and we're not in that to make money, so to speak. We're in that to really share what should be shared with their families and people.
What do you see doing a Legacy video? Can you kind of describe what that process is like, or a situation of doing that? Like, did something happen that just kind of sparked the passion to continue doing something like that?
Yeah, I think, it comes back down to my dad and a couple of other people that I've lost in life, and knowing that, it would be priceless to hear their voice again, to see them in action. And we live in a world of mobile phones and technology, and it's, every day we're taking photos and videos of friends and family, but to do so in a cinematic way, to do so in a really kind of premium way that will stand the test of time, as opposed to a mobile phone, 3 to 8 second grab. And so how that looks, we go on a journey with people. We give them an experience. We would chat with them, unpack the situation, the timeline, the scheduling. Is that going to be shot in their home? Is it shot on location somewhere? And then we'll arrive, we'll set up, we'll walk them through some questions similar to this, and help guide a conversation for them to share their story. And that might be of life's accolades and accomplishments, or it might be about their children and just their favorite moments in life and what they, love to do and their hobbies and interests. And so that ends up being a 30 to 40 minute kind of feature film with a bit of B-roll. So, for example, we might take someone to a cafe, or if they were an athlete, we might take them to the local tennis court, just to get a real sense of it all. And we might include some other bits and snippets of B-roll as well. So
who's someone you've done that for that you can mention, and can you just describe like what that was like with them?
Yeah, something more recently, more personally, was was my granddad actually, and this was overseas. So we had the privilege to go and visit some of my family in the UK, and we took some of the gear with us, and we sat in his lounge room. We documented some of the stories, and we didn't know a lot of those stories. So
what did he say? What was one? He said?
Well, I don't know. My family isn't yet to see it or watch it yet, so it's still a bit under wraps. But just to hear some of the accounts from him personally, it's why we do what we do, and just to see almost like this weight lifted from him by telling these stories, knowing that his children or his grandchildren will hear that. Was really, really special and worth the trip. He's 97, 98 now, and so he's ticking on. But what a great opportunity to just capture in something. And for people here locally, for people in Adelaide or around this community, if they're listening or watching, and they feel that there's a really powerful story that they wish for their parents or siblings to share, then we want to be a part of that.
Mm. Oh, it's brilliant. And I do see the people of Prospect being able to step into something like that because, again, with relationships and, being on site, which is you guys being here, is such of great value. And whether it's someone bringing their grandpa or grandma in or whatever the situation may be, I think something like that is very long lasting. And for you to sit there and watch that as well and do that with your grandfather, that must have been such an eye-opening moment for you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, obviously we're familiar with the concept in terms of the legacy concept, and we know what it can do, and we know how powerful it would be. But to have someone, so close to me, and and kind of unpack and discover some of those stories was really rewarding, and something that will stand, the test of time. So, that's something that we do offer, and we'd love to do more of that. But as you can appreciate, and as many can, it's a sensitive topic. It's a sensitive production. So it takes the right kind of people to be able to produce something and curate that. You couldn't just send any, cinematographer, videographer into a home and do that.
Touching on legacy, with, I guess, your industry and your business and how it is adapting and evolving all the time. I mean, to stay ahead of the curve or to, introduce things or maybe potentially even let go of certain things. How do you see Oaktree Studios in Prospect evolving in the next 5 years or so? Like, where do you see this going for you?
Sure. Well, hopefully Claymore is listening next door because, we've got that eye on the on their premises next door if they ever move out. But no, I think it's important to not lose the quality in what we do. And even though we've had some really accelerated growth the last couple of years, moving from location to location and here and curating this space, the next kind of investment or the next move will be in the team that we have. So we've got the bricks and mortar studio. We've got, Vaughan is one of the main, primary assets and building the business. He's one of our leads and he's incredible. So it's taken a long time to build that relationship and have him alongside me. So finding someone else that's capable of doing, such a job, but also to help with, just the admin load and to help with all these other bits and pieces. So I think, the next move will be a hire. And over the 3 to 5 years, just steady growth and ensuring that, because we're all creatives, because we're kind of gifted visionaries, that we're able to land some of our passion projects alongside of what we do. We've had to adapt, and we regularly talk about this with the guys that, this is in demand of the industry right now, or this is in demand for businesses right now. So we've been able to adapt and produce such content to be a serviceable and sustainable business. But, if we could just do what we love doing each day, that might not make sense. So we need to make sure that we're running a profitable business and a sustainable one.
So yes, Josh, it's very multifaceted in a sense, and being able to kind of know the next move and you know, you mentioned building business as part of, I guess, your strategy to know where you're going and what to do and how you're doing it. How's that going in Prospect? I mean, being here for the length of time that you have, starting on Main North Road, now you're here. What's it like building a business in Prospect? Can you just tell me how that feels?
Yeah, I mean, it feels right. You know, it feels right being a Prospect, and I think we've made a good decision and the right move. Just connecting with people down the street, whether it be the main strip here or the outer suburbs. You know, you've got like-minded people here that are doing the same thing, investing in new business, or whether they're giving their business a facelift or they've been here for 30, 40 years. Building those relationships with people just affirms the choice that we've made to base ourselves in Prospect. It's a really cool thing to grab lunch, you know, and go somewhere different, you know, each week. It's a good thing to have a gym, to have, you know, the practicalities of a service station, that, you know, a gas station there, and you know, a barber shop. You know, you've got all the amenities that you need, and that plays a part in building business, because then it's convenient, and not to mention, you know, you're a few minutes away then from the big smoke, you know, Adelaide. So yeah.
No, it's great to hear. How would you describe to someone who is interested in making the move here to Prospect, whether it's an industry person in the same kind of lane as you, or, you know, someone who's listening who's a aspiring videographer and they kind of want to get in the mix of things? What would you say to someone starting? Like, how does one start, and what do they need to kind of have the bones to move to an area like this and be successful?
Yeah, I think in any business, whether it's a creative one, I mean, we're here, we don't need another content studio. But no, I think, you know, for people building business, there is a risk. There's a risk that comes with it. And so you need to really calculate that risk and plan that, and decide, you know, if it, you know, on the right size of your premises, if it's a location that you're looking for. Or it might be a shared space, you know, like 103 CBD, Little City. Like, there's options available for people to be able to establish themselves with a lower risk, which is what we did. And then, you know, we outgrew that space. So certainly to connect with the business owners, you know, if they're interested in something, hospitality, fashion, go and connect, put yourself forward. You have to be confident. You have to back yourself. But in business, you know, one of the things, I was talking about this the other day, is having that support network around you. And I feel that in Prospect, there are some pillars of that support. And by support network, I mean, you've got several people, you know, and that might be a family member, it might be a friend, a mentor, or a coach, but you've got means and resources here at Prospect at arm's reach as well to help guide you and support you, you know, direct you for grants and direct you for other business, you know, mentorship and coaching. So having that support network is key, because you're going to need to fall on each of those pillars along the way: emotional support, practical support, and you might get something from each of them. So to have that, here is practical as well.
And touching on support and falling onto the hands that can help us, whatever area of business that we kind of can struggle in. Have you ever worked with, I guess, anyone in Prospect? Or, I mean, we've got flower shops and things like this. I mean, being in the wedding scene and being a creator, I'm sure you've kind of collaborated a few times. And can you kind of tell me about that? What's it like seeing other Prospect businesses out doing business in the community?
Yeah, listen, I think we have, and I think we've worked with alongside a lot of business owners here. They just don't know it, because it might be out, you know, in the field somewhere. It might be on a location at a winery. And we've been, you know, in a sense, collaborating. And then we've picked upon, you know, later that, you know, oh, you're also in Prospect. Or so, yeah, it's a cool thing. And knowing that it's such a premium kind of product that people are offering around here as well kind of falls in the same kind of value assets there to do so. But, yeah, we look forward to building new relationships and collaborating with others as and when they need it. You know, conversations naturally, like I said, lead back into some marketing strategies and channels. And yeah, we've done that recently with some of our neighbours alongside here to say, hey, and if it's not something that we can help you with, then we point them in the right direction.
more of the lower points of business, and you know, it's incredible that you're here and everything you've overcome to be able to get a spot here on the street and to, you know, collaborate with other businesses and things like that. How did you kind of combat the lower stuff, the really difficult kind of days, or it could be just a 9-to-5 thing, or because you mentioned, you know, the struggles of work-life balance and does it really exist? But for you, it's like, what's the lowest parts of this been like for you, and what did that look like, and how did you kind of overcome that to, you know, keep going?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're still overcoming certain things. There's still those pain points. You know, it's that postpartum stage, so to speak, of building business, and you know, along the years we've learned to adapt and we've learned to pivot. But yeah, what has been difficult is knowing that, you know, a part of yourself is sacrificed, you know, each and every month, you know, and you've got to understand what kind of objectives and what vision you have out there, and then it kind of comes back to your heart, and so you don't want to change yourself too much. But I have found that, you know, a part of me has had to sacrifice maybe a little bit more than I thought I would to build business and put myself forward. You know, I've got a great support network around me in terms of mentors, coaches, friends, family, and then obviously my immediate family, you know, my wife and kids. You know, I look forward to those moments. I go home and they're at the door and they're, you know, kind of yelling daddy and things like that. Like, that's really rewarding, and it gives you more purpose. It's the days when, yeah, you come home later or you're leaving earlier and you have to make that decision of, you know, how else, you know, can I see them and make sure that this is important and this is a priority. So, yeah, the family, but everyone's different. Everyone has a different version of business ownership or entrepreneurship, and quite naturally, as a young entrepreneur, you understand. There'll be a lot of different highs and lows for the roller coaster, but strap yourself in. And I always say, you know, one of my favorite pastimes was Disney World in America, and so yeah, roller coaster is a good metaphor. But yeah, strap yourself in.
And in terms of the roller coaster and the ride, you know, for Oaktree Studios, in terms of, I guess, next steps for you and the wearing the many hats that you do have, I mean, there are other parts of yourself and there are things that you have done. And I guess if you're kind of willing to share a little bit about that, that would be awesome. Yeah,
sure. So along the years,
because you've written a book.
Yeah, I mean that was through the trivial experiences as a dad, as a working dad, and so on Amazon now, A Working Dad is the book that's published, and it's a children's book with a narrative along similar events that have happened to myself, and explaining to your young ones, you know, where you're going each day, but acknowledging the different trivial experiences that of a partner as well, and that all family dynamics vary, of course. And so to be able to do that, and that's those like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. kind of wild thoughts of, hey, I really should get this down. Like I'm struggling with this. And as a creative, like that's how you tend to deal with things. You know, you put that expressiveness into something else, you know, in that art form or shape. And it just so happened to be in writing, and it just so happened to make it to a point where, you know, we got that published and that was out there. So, and that is a conversation starter for parents. It's a conversation starter for dads to say, hey, you know, I'm struggling with this and I don't know how to articulate this to my wife, that I'm feeling like I'm overworked or I'm, you know, wanting to leave my job and do something different. You know, it's a really good conversation starter for those families, but also for the kids to read and understand, oh, okay, this is where you go each day and this is what you do. But, you know, before that, again, along the parenting theme, myself and my wife started a parenting platform, and that got some recognition and some traction, you know, on the news and the media. And we're really fortunate to be able to do that and host that. And so, to wear these different hats and have the responsibilities of owning businesses is no mean feat. So, yeah, we've been fortunate, but it's been very, very hard and very, very challenging to be able to spin so many plates. But always from the very beginning, I was very unsure of what I wanted to do. I didn't wake up one day knowing I wanted to be a teacher or knowing I wanted to be, a doctor or something as plain as that. And so as a creative, and I'm sure many can relate, that you kind of go through different experiences and maybe different jobs and roles, kind of testing the water. Is this what I'm meant to be doing? Is this giving me purpose? Is this giving me drive? And so, experienced from a younger age working in retail and hospitality and understanding the management processes behind that has just naturally led me to owning my own business and doing that.
Mm-hmm. So for those listening, creatives in prospect, growing business owners, and those that, may or may not know the creative side of them that is there, with, visionaries like yourselves to come on board, support and get things over the line, what would you like to say to them, and how, what's something you think that they really need to be left with?
Yeah, listen, I think, I meet a lot of creatives within this industry, and they're so talented. They really are so talented. And maybe what is missing is maybe the business acumen. And so getting some support, getting some guidance to enable them to attach that to what they do to help build their own brand. So, and the easiest, way of explaining that is, if they're producing content for themselves, that's of quality. It's how they go about, building that into a business and making that sustainable as a living. But whilst building the business, you have to look at the 1%ers, and that's the difference. I think knowing that, it's those finer details that will set you apart from someone else. It's the 1%ers, the extra hour or two of a night or in the morning to be able to achieve, your goals, and to put those finishing touches into a project that you're doing, and investing in yourself, watching a clip on YouTube, tutorial, or signing up a TAFE course or anything like that. It's all really valuable. But you just need to get up and get going and start doing it. And if you really, believe in yourself and you've got that confidence, just find someone else that latches onto that supports you. You just need that one person to set the wind in your sails.
Just before we wrap up, what coffee shop am I going to catch you in?
Well,
is it a few?
You're asking the wrong question or to the wrong person, because I've been out of coffee, tea and coffee. An Englishman that doesn't drink tea or coffee, I know, would baffle you. But if I have to pitch one, and I have been down there, is probably Wild Coffee. So we're looking at 600 meters to the east. Just down one of the main roads there that joins Prospect Road and Main North Road, just on the corner. I think they're building a new Audi outlet just opposite. But Wild Coffee, family-run business, quality.
Wow. Thank you so much, Josh. This has been such an extraordinary journey I'd like to leave the listeners with.
No, I really appreciate the opportunity to host the series here at Oaktree, to be able to share just a little bit, a snippet and testimonial of my journey, and look forward to seeing what else is in store from all the guests on the show, and meeting and building relationships within the community. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh.